أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى لقاء يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، فلا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together inshallah let's say this salam. Assalamu ala Hussain wa ala Ali ibn Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq and opportunity once again to be in the majlis of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam, sitting in front of the ma'arif and the teachings of him and Ahlul Bayt, learning from this ma'arif insha'Allah, and have a spiritual connection with them as well. If we could see the unseen, if we could see the privilege that we have to be in the majlis of Ahlul Bayt, specifically Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam, we would wish that we could be in this majlis forever. Imam Ma'asum, he mentioned that you would not know the benefit of being our followers, the benefit of being Shia. You will not understand it in this dunya, and he mentioned and he pointed with his hand until your life is up here. Towards the last moments, then you realize what is the benefit of that. What is the point? How amazing is this? Being in the majlis of Imam Hussain, now that you're sitting, again as a reminder for myself and you as well, don't think that you're just randomly, because you didn't have to do anything else, you came here and you're sitting in the majlis of Imam Hussain. We believe that inshallah the guests of this majlis are those that are invited by Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam, inshallah. We believe we could be somewhere else tonight. We could be sitting somewhere else, we could be in the house or somewhere else doing something else. And we know that if someone important, imagine someone very important in your life, if that person invites you to a party, to a ceremony, to a commemoration of something, you have to be important to be invited. Important people usually don't invite people randomly, right? They know specifically who they have to invite and for what reason. Majlis of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, now that we have the privilege, if we are here in this majlis inshallah, we should be somehow understanding this first and be proud, alhamdulillah, that I am the one, inshallah, that Imam wanted me to be here in this majlis. But when he wants us to be somewhere, there is a reason behind this. People around Ahlul Bayt, people around their companion, according to their speeches as well, wherever you go, in any majlis, any gathering you participate, you have to look for a benefit. You have to look for a knowledge. The hadith says, sit with those scholars, sit with a group of people that would add into your knowledge. Sit with a group of people that either you benefit them with your knowledge, or they will benefit you with their knowledge. Always looking for improvement. Always looking, now that I am in the majlis of Imam Hussain, how can I do, what can I do to maximize my benefit from my time, spending time here in this majlis. Again, we're different people sitting here with different titles. Imagine if we have 100 scores for tonight's majlis, just for example. Some of us would get probably 10, 15, 20% of that. Some of us would get 40%, some would get 50%. Inshallah, some would get close to 90 and 100% benefit from it. The same as when you go to school, not all the students, they study at the same level, right? Some students study better, and well, they get better and more benefit from it. Some students, you just go to neither. Yes, you're still invited, you're still there, but what you can do to be closer, to get the most benefit from the majlis, inshallah. And for that, I mean, remember I said that and I started with this, that we have to set our goals for this Muharram. This is the 4th night. Remember I said it's going to pass very, very quickly and fast. I told you, I promise you, I'm going to remind you. This is the mid-Muharram, almost mid-Muharram. I want to remind, not the Muharram, the Majalis, 10 nights, 11 nights, you know. It's passing very quickly. So if you had a goal for yourself, you have to analyze right now yourself. Am I closer to my goal? Am I getting closer to that goal that I wanted to reach through the Muharram and through the Majalis and the gathering for Imam Hussain والسلام, or not? Then based on that I have to see how further I have to work. Let me tell you something interesting. In this world, usually when you look, you see that each and every event has a hot season to be discussed. People usually something happen, an event happen. Nowadays they're talking about a storm happened, earthquake happened, an event happened, a war happened. Something would happen, it has hot season that people will talk about this. And gradually people will start forgetting about that. They forget about the whole concept of that. Example, World War II, a perfect example. By number of victims is the most tragic event that happened. I was doing some research. Over 60 million people were killed in World War II. Okay? By number, you cannot compare to anything else. And that includes 3% of the whole population in the world in 1940. Imagine the number of victims, right? The world population was 2.3 billion people at that time. 3% were dead and killed. It's horrible, right? The most tragic event that you can have, that you can imagine in the world. The number of victims, by the number of victims. But nowadays, no one talks about it. We don't talk about it. How often do you talk about this? Huh? Maybe once in an anniversary of that war, we see something, a headline in the news or something happen. 1 minute, for example, silence for the respect of the victims, something like that. I don't know what was the last time I heard anything about World War II. The most important news will be covered by the most professional media in the world for a period of time. When the new things would come up, they change the topic and title and go to the next topic and forget about what happened. Look at the media right now. Something happened 1,379 years ago, and only 72 people became killed and shaheed and martyred in Karbala. Today this is still so fresh as it just happened yesterday. It's amazing. We shouldn't just be listening this thing, just bypass them, do something happen. No, I'll just give you some perfect example. 60 million people were killed, over 72 people. This is more recent than 1,379 years ago in Karbala. And it's still me and you sitting, and we talk about this all around the world, and whatever topic we find to talk about Karbala and Imam Hussain, next time we see there's more topic, there's something else that we have to talk about. As the scholars and the speakers, when you want to pick a topic, which one, where? It's too wide, it's so big. It's an ocean in front of us. We have to talk about, oh my God. 1,379 years speakers are talking about Ashura, and it's not over yet. There's always something new that we can talk about this. This is the miracle that happened, and that's what I want you to understand. What's going on? You're sitting here for what? That not only, remember what I said, Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, I love this and I want to repeat all the time. He did not fight with a local enemy by the name of Yazid. No. He fought with the mindset and culture of Bani Umayyah. That is still today we have it. Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, you never see that he says, I wish I wouldn't have Muawiyah as my enemy. Because enemies are always there. what they wish. He said, I wish I had more Salman. I wish I had more Sabah. I wish I had more Ammar Yassin. They wish they had more supporter than wishing that they wouldn't have the enemies. Today we're sitting here to be among those supporters. By what? Number one, self-reflection. Analyzing ourselves. Muharram is about me become a better person. Crying for Imam Hussain والسلام, and a spiritual connection with Allah. It's about me become a better person so I can support the Imam of time, Imam Mahdi ﷺ. Me changing the world based on who I am and what I'm supposed to do. Some people can say, you know, I'm just a teacher. I'm just a businessman. In 2018, I'm living, making some money, you know. Please. We're already in minorities. And by the way, in Quran, based on Quran, minorities are the priority. Quran says, وَأَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. But what we see here is that that's our mission this time again, to have that self-reflection and to work towards this. What happened that, again, with this comparison, the uprising of Imam Hussain is still alive. Number one, because of the intention of the leader of the uprising, Imam Hussain. Quran says, كُلُّ شَيْءٍ حَالَكْ إِلَّا وَجْهَهُ. Everything would be gone in this world. Anything that you can imagine, except whatever belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the decision that you make in your life, any decision, to get married, to study a certain major, to have a business, to come here, to go somewhere else, any decision that you make is based on the intention that you have. Have you thought about this? Someone who wants to get married, if you want to see is going to be successful in marriage or not, look at the intention of that person. Are you looking for what husband? I don't even want to say like a rich husband or something. I think it's an insult to talk to the followers of Imam Hussain at this low level. That I said someone would look for someone to get married, for example, based on the beauty or money. I think there was, this topics belonged to 100 years ago. The followers of Imam Hussain at this level, 21st century, getting closer to Zuhur, is about talking about more intellectual topics to understand our responsibilities more and more, to understand that each and every single of you guys sitting here, inshallah, you are an important piece in the history of Shia, inshallah. Me and you today sitting here, we're judging people of Kufa. Such a bad people. You know, they did this, they left their Imam. Believe me, one day, people after us would sit down in their majalis and would judge me and you. What we did today. Our children would sit down in their majalis and says, our fathers could help Islam, but they didn't do as well. The same that we're judging before, people before us, people would judge us as well. Now it's up to you, be a single student, or a teacher, or businessman, or mother, or CEO of a company, or whatever. It's up to you. The intention was so important for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that today everyone is talking about it. Charles Dickens, you heard about his name, the British novelist. He's having an amazing state about Imam Hussain. He's not Muslim. There's a famous, author, Charles Dickens. He says that, I don't know if Hussain was looking to quench his worldly desires to go to fight with Yazid. I don't understand why he took his sister, his children, and his wife with himself. That doesn't make sense. To me, Charles Dickens, Hussain went and purely was sacrificed for the sake of Islam. That's why Hussain is alive today. That's why me and you sitting here, as soon as they said, Assalamu alaikum ya Abu Abdullah, me and you cry. Because we understand the value of our Imams. We understand being the followers of Ahlul Bayt, what that means. That means if everyone in this world were among the followers of Ahlul Bayt, not to get emotional, no. Not to get emotional because we're following that path to get emotional. No, based on the facts and the words and the teachings of Ahlul Bayt. If everyone in this world were following Ahlul Bayt, the world was definitely in a different direction. The proof is that. Bring anyone close to Imam al-Hussein's close to his wisdom, close to his hikmah, close to his knowledge and taqwa and piety, from tomorrow we'll go follow them. Wallahi, we'll go follow that person. We don't want to be Muslim blindly follow Islam and Ahlul Bayt. We have proof behind this. Bring one person close to Amir al-Mu'mineen Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. From tomorrow we'll go follow him. That's what George Jordan, a Christian scholar, says. Ali was a waste for that time. When he says, "Saluni qabla an tafqiduni," ask me whatever you want before you miss me. I am here, and people are asking about if you're telling the truth, tell me how many hair my camel has. He says, I can find whatever attributes for anyone, in good attributes for any human beings in this world, I can find in Amir al-Mu'mineen. Not blindly following them. We have the proofs behind it. The intention behind. And now me and you sitting here in this masjid, what is our intention? Everything, our business, our money, our marriage, our parenting, our children, anything that you can imagine in this world. Let me give you a good example. The companion of Imam Hussain at night, we heard about this. He turned off the light. He says, leave. I don't want to force you guys to. Let me tell you something. I'm going to leave it for night of Ashura. I'm not going to say that. But let me tell you something. When he turned off the light, he's saying, go, I don't need you. They're just, dealing with me tomorrow. They're standing up, the companion, the soldiers, one after another, and saying, where are we supposed to go? We'll leave you just to be able to live in this world a little bit more? Shame on us if we leave you, right? Based on the what? Basira, intuition, their decision, their intention. The intention that is ilahi and spiritual intention behind their decision make them today. That Imam Hussain in the night, the same night, he says, إِنِّي لَا أَعْلَمُ أَصْحَابًا أَوْفَى وَلَا خَيْرًا مِنْ أَصْحَابِي وَلَا أَهْلَ بَيْتٍ أَوْصَلْ وَلَا أَفْضَلْ مِنْ أَهْلِ بَيْتِي. Imam Ma'asum is saying, this is in fact, I don't know anywhere any better companion than you guys who are sitting here. He's telling this companion. Any better family than my family sitting here. You know what that means? That means they are better. When Imam Ma'asumi says I don't know anyone better than you guys, you know what that means? That means from the time of Adam, Prophet Adam, all the way to the last day of this world, any companion you find, any person, any companion of any wali of Allah you find, they're not better than the Shuhada of Karbala. Why? Because of one thing. Because of their intention and because of their decision. If they could, like many other ones, as I told you some examples. That name that I gave you last night, Zahak ibn Abdullah Mashtaghi, there are different, narration. One people says he is actually the one that he joined Imam Hussain at the day of Ashura. He came to Imam Hussain and says, you know what? I told you I'm going to help you all the way until the time that I see I can be helpful. Now I see that everyone became shaheed and gone, so I'm going to go. And I'm told him, how you can go? Is it possible? If you can go, go. He says, yeah, I already have my horse in the tent. I hide it though. And he left the moment that time. You have some people from other side, and you have people from this side as well. So that means the companion of Imam Hussain who decided based on intention to stay with Imam Hussain are better than the soldiers in Badr and Uhud and Khaybar, anyone else. As me and you sitting here, let me tell something good. Something to feel good, inshallah. Me and you sitting here today in this world at this time, we're supposed to be special, inshallah. Hadith from Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Hadith is saying that Imam Rasulullah, he was sitting with his companion and he said, I wish I could see or I can see, my brothers. The companion says, well, we thought you're your brothers. He says, no, you're not my brothers, you're my ashab, you're my companion. He said, who are your brothers then? said, my brothers are people who come at the end of the time. That they did not see me, they would not see me, but they believe in me. They believe in me based on the blacks on white traditions, writings. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. People who believe in unseen. You know why the companions of one person are so special? Because first they decided to sacrifice themselves for the sake of Allah and Imam Hussain, and then Imam Hussain showed them their position on night of Ashura. It's the narrative that after they showed their loyalty to Imam Hussain showed them their level in Jannah. Because now that you decided, you can see this as well. People are supposed to, inshallah, they're special. They are, it's like the same thing. It's like the students that is already accepted, inshallah, in the best and the most prestigious university, already accepted. Now what you want to do, how you want to study to get your degree. Now it's about us. You are in the best maktab and the best school of thought in the world that you can imagine. Now how do you want to take advantage of that? Now how do you want to be graduated? A good graduated student from the maktab of Imam Hussain والسلام, as Abu Fadl Abbas graduated from that school, as Zainab Salamullah alayha graduated from that school. It's up to us right now how much just thinking and pondering about and upon our self-knowledge. Let's go to the history, go back. We're doing this, remember? We're going analyzing the society of the time of Imam Hussain والسلام. We're getting some points, some viruses, some factors that they actually failed because of those factors, and we're back here analyzing our own societies and ourselves to make sure if any of those things are here, to make sure we get rid of them. One of the most important things that the characteristics of those people, that when you look, it looks like so simple, but it hurt them so much, is the feeling of jealousy. Being jealous against each other. Remember that example I said, if we said someone has characteristics of Shimr, we said, astaghfirullah, you're insulting that person. But if you say Shimr was a jealous person, and we want to just get away from any type of characteristics that those people they had, one of the main things is the jealousy. This is one of the main factors that happened right away. When Ibn Ziyad sent Umar al-Sa'd to the army, he said, go towards Hussain. Shimr was still in Kufa. At the beginning, Umar al-Sa'd, he was not so adamant about fighting and killing Imam Hussain. He liked his khabis, his maroon, all of it, but he was looking more towards, finding a reconciliation and fixing the situation. Shimr was next to Ibn Ziyad. He says, I think, he's not going to do that. Ibn Ziyad, he was towards that reconciliation at the beginning as well. As soon as Shimr said that, he said, you know that if you leave Hussain to go, you're not going to find him anymore. So you better do something about this. He talked to Ibn Ziyad, Shimr. Why? Because he was jealous to who? Umar al-Sa'd. He wanted to be the commander. He talked to Ibn Ziyad. He said, okay, Ibn Ziyad said, he wrote a letter. He says, go to Umar al-Sa'd. If he accepted this order to kill Hussain, if he doesn't give oath of allegiance, good. If not, you kill Umar al-Sa'd and you are the commander. That's why he left Shimr. Based on what? One thing, jealousy. If I ask you, I'm going to ask myself, I'm not going to insult you, that do I have any type of jealousy? As soon as you can ask someone, you have jealousy, astaghfirullah, jealousy. No, what do you mean? But deep down in our hearts, if we find someone who had the same situation, and now he's better than me, she has more than whatever I achieved. In that situation, would I still be fine or might be jealous? In the Arad Ashara you just recited, right? One part of the la'an and the curse that used it says, وَبِالْبَرَاعَةِ مِنْهُمْ وَاللَّعْنَةَ عَلَيْهِمْ. بِالْبَرَاعَةِ, to get away. I hate what? Two things. That is specific person, 61st of Hijri, he stood in front of Imam Hussain to kill him. This is one thing, or that mindset and that culture and that characteristics. Which one do you think? Yes, that person because had these characteristics. Shamr because he had the characteristics of Shamr. Ibn Sa'd and Ibn Ziyad because they had the characteristics and mindset and culture of being Shamr and Ibn Ziyad and Umar Sa'd. Not just one person at that time. Yes, we hate them because of what? We curse them because of one thing. Because of these characteristics that they had, they killed Imam Hussain al-Sa'd. Because of characteristics of companion of Imam al-Hussain, they supported Imam Hussain al-Sa'd. So matter of fact, in Ziyarat Ashra when we do the bara'ah from what? From those wrong characteristics of these people that I'm not supposed to have every day in my life. Not that lady that told one of the scholars, and says, can you please pray for me? It's a very important dua. He says, what is it? He said, you know, my sister-in-law, they bought a Mercedes and we don't have it. Please pray that Allah gives us Mercedes. It can be so low, using dua for certain things like that. Yeah, it is possible. Jealousy can ruin. Jealousy is like a fire that would burn, number one, that hold the jealous person, number one. Hadith from Imam, he says, very interesting. He says, إِنَّ الْحَسَدِ يَأْكُلُ الْحَسَنَاتِ كَمَا تَأْكُلُ النَّارُ الْحَتَمِ. You see how when you put the wood in the fire and how the fire would eat the wood so quickly? Hasad and jealousy, it's iman and faith, like that, would destroy it. Shaitan, 6,000 years of ibadah of Allah. Because of one thing was gone. When he saw someone better than himself, Adam, that's the time he cannot accept it. Shaitan knows who is Allah. He worshipped Allah for a long time. One thing he couldn't tolerate, see someone better than himself. So if I have small percentage of these characteristics in my heart, I still am sharing with the same characteristics of these people, even though. We want to totally get away from these things, even little bit. Jews of Medina, Jewish people, they knew that Rasulullah, they were waiting for the last Imam. They had the signs of the last prophet. They had the sign of last prophet. They knew he's the last prophet. Over one thing they couldn't accept it. Over what? Hasad and jealousy. So if we accept you to be the prophet, okay, we know you are, but if we accept it, so we're going to lose everything. Let me tell you something horrible and sad in the history. We're getting a lesson from history. One day, one of the friends of Abu Sufyan, the father of Muawiyah, the grandfather of Yazid, that 20 years he tried to kill Rasulullah, and the last 3 years he didn't have any other choice. That's why he became Muslim, right? With his son, Ben Muawiyah. Out of choice, they become Muslim unwillingly. 20 years he wanted to kill Rasulullah. That's what they're over right now. No? The intention, remember? Where's the grave of Muawiyah? Where's the grave of Yazid? When you have a wrong intention, Allah knows how to take care of you in this dunya and akhirah as well. His friends ask him, do you really believe that Muhammad at the beginning, Muhammad is not the Prophet? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Do you really believe Muhammad is not the Prophet? He says, no, we believe that he's a Prophet. Then why you don't accept it? He says, because Bani Umayyah and Bani Hashim are like two racing horses. If we accept and we approve and we say that he is the Prophet, the horse of Bani Hashim are going to go ahead of us. Huh. Look at the analogy. He's fighting and killing and accepting blasphemy over what? Jealousy. His horse is going to be ahead of my horse. To that extent? Yes, to that extent. Nowadays you have a lot of examples. I don't want to go into the details. Look at the politician, look at people around the world, how they're doing it, the businessmen. In our communities, let's come back to our time, in our communities, sometimes na'uzubillah, brother against brother, they have some fights, some issues. If he is in the center, I'm not going to come to the center. Okay, you better don't come then. This is your analogy. Over one thing, one issue, sisters, brothers, they have issues. That's it. So even if you're in the army, in the, you're the companion of Imam of Asr over something very simple, you're going to fight and you say, I'm not going to come to the army of Imam of Asr until that person is over. MashaAllah. That's it. This is not a characteristics of companion of Ahlul Bayt. When you see at the night of Ashura, the companion of Imam Hussain, they're so bonded, so attached to each other. Because of what? Because their love is one love. Because their direction is one direction. Today, if you see any husband and wife that are fighting, they have issue, there's something wrong about their iman. Believe me, as a psychologist I'm saying. There's something wrong about the goal. There's something wrong about, they probably don't love one thing that strongly. That much strong. Why? Because if you love one thing and your direction is one direction, you're not supposed to have fight with that. Because somewhere Iman would come and fix it. Because they came to Ma'asum and says, you know, someone came and says, I'm willing to marry my daughter. What is your recommendation? Imam says, marry her to someone who has Iman, who has faith, who has taqwa. Why? Because if he loves her, she's going to be very amazing, mashallah, lovely, perfect. And if he doesn't love her, he would still treat her nicely because he is afraid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not afraid of court, not this and that, because you can hide many things. But one person that is everywhere is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's afraid of Allah. So fine. So when we said taqwa, when it says the characteristics in husband and wife taqwa, people think that just pray. They think just fasting. Remember, always say, these are one of the characteristics, one of the pieces of this puzzle. If there is a fight in a family, something is wrong with taqwa and the iman of these two. I don't know if you thought about this so far, from this angle, that how come we're both Muslim, how come we're both Shia of Ahlul Bayt, how come we're this, and we're fighting over. Okay, let's say it happened, issues happen, concerns happen, alright, I agree. Okay? But how long is it going to last? 2 years of issue, 1 year. I'm afraid of saying 30 years and 40 years. My clients come to me. It's 40 years of issue between husband and wife. I feel so ashamed of saying this. Did you mean 2 years, 3 years of having issue and not fixing it? And you're not even caring about it? And not even going somewhere professionally to take care of that? So jealous people, they will never be satisfied in their life. Never, ever. The opposite side is that humility and being humble in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh, gradually wrap it up inshallah shortly. Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, in Dua Arafah, he says something so amazing, like many other parts. He says, Ilahi ana al-faqiru fi qinai, فَكَيْفَ لَا أَكُونُ فَقِيرًا فِي فَقْرٍ. Ya Allah, when I apparently have everything and I'm rich, still in front of you I am faqir and in need and I'm needy. How come now that I know that I have nothing in front of you and I am needy, how can I not ask? How can I not be needy in front of you? Imam Hussain is put himself so down in front of Allah. Ali put himself so down, crying, crawling on the ground. وَنَفْسِي بِجِنَايَتِي عِنْدَكُمْ. Put himself so down. That's why Ali is so elevated today. That is set so high. That is the same reason. I don't have time to finish this topic, but in general, there are many factors of jealousy. Sometimes, usually jealousy happens in the second year of life of children. They start feeling these things. It can be attention, paying more attention to one of the children more. It can be some privileges that you might have, someone might have over someone else. It can be something that person has. It can be, lack of confidence. Many, many things, many factors it can be. But very quickly, the solution can be always think positively. Always think positive. If you're jealous of someone, look at the beauties and good characteristics that they have. Think positively is going to help a lot. Second, do whatever you can to get rid of that doubts about that person. Do whatever you can that ask themselves, I heard you did this and that, did you do this? Do not let yourself continue thinking about that thought of jealousy or anything regarding that. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you. Anything, any help that you can find somehow to, get rid of that. And many other things, like we call it cognitive therapy, such as thinking about the result of jealousy, how horrible it is. Exposure therapy, that means if you're jealous of someone, purposely go in front of others and talk good about that person. Opposite of what my nafs is telling you. Go talk good about that person. Whatever nafs is saying. Anyhow, these are something that we have to focus on. We have to understand the importance of analyzing the situation, looking at ourselves. Whatever we're talking, the whole direction, the whole goal is one thing. Being able to be better people to reach salvation and kamal, inshallah. To be able to reach that level, that insan, that human beings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah wants us to be through the teachings of Ahlul Bayt, inshallah. And that is the best opportunity. Muharram, the best opportunity. In Ramadan, you might see many people don't fast. Don't fast. They don't believe it. At the beginning of Muharram, he says, quit everything haram this Muharram. Where's my black shirts? Bring me black shirts. Muharram is something important all over the world. Sometimes I look at these video clips in social media sometimes. Those people you cannot even imagine when it's Muharram, everything changed for them. Once in a year they come to the majlis and to the masjid, it's just Muharram. It's just night of Ashura. That's still good. They're still the guests of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. This is the power of Muharram. Sallallahu alayhi ya Aba Abdullah. Sallallahu alayhi ya Ibn Rasulullah. How can we thank Allah for this great ni'mah, tawfiq, that we are sitting in the majlis of Hussain. We're sitting in the majlis of Aba Abdullah. We have the tawfiq to attend the azar of Aba Abdullah. Sallallahu alayhi ya Aba Abdullah. Sallallahu alayka ya ibn Rasulullah. Sallallahu alayka ya ibn Amir al-Mu'minin wa ibn Sayyid al-Yassin. Sallallahu alayka ya ibn Fatima Sayyidat Nisa'il Alameen. Many people in this world, they meditate somehow, however they want. Our meditation is in the majlis of Hussain, to sit here and think and cry for Hussain. Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain. Whatever you say, when you say more, when you say Hussain, you see that your heart starts changing. And the name would touch your heart. Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain. I was looking for the Masa'ib of Ahlul Bayt in Karbala. After Imam, the whole hope of Imam in his sister Zaynab Salamullahi alayha. this lady, that the whole message of Ashura is on the shoulder of Zainab. Let me quickly tell you a little bit about the tragedies and masa'ib of Zainab. They said, you know, two of her sons, maybe the name on Muhammad, they were in Karbala. When it was the time for her child and children, Zainab took them closer to the tent of Hussain. Zainab sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, she stood outside the tent and told them, go inside and ask your uncle to give you the permission to go to the battlefield. Maybe she told them, do not come out and sit, so he will give you permission. You know why Zainab is not going there? She doesn't want Hussain to feel bad in front of her. They went inside, came back. What happened? Did you get the permission? No, he did not give us permission. Based on some narrations, Zainab went inside. Hussain, what happened? When it was the time of Ali Akbar, you gave permission very quickly. When it was the time of Qasim, finally you let him go. Now that it's my turn to contribute, Ya Hussain, let them go. Finally they went, the two children of Zainab, they went to the battlefield. They said Zainab stood inside the tent. Why? Because she didn't want Hussain to look at Zainab and feel what happened. Oh, rahmat to you, Zainab, and upon you, that this much you care about your brother. Oh, let me tell you, let's go to Karbala, let me tell you what happened. In the last moment in Karbala, when Hussain is on the ground, Zainab between Qatlegah and Khiyam, little bit towards Tell Zainabiyya. Inshallah, you went to Karbala, you saw Tell Zainabiyya. Little bit towards Tell Zainabiyya, and worry about Hussain. But she has to go back and take care of the children of Hussain. Between Tal and Khiyam, Salamun ala qalb Zainab al-Sabur. Allah knows the moment that they brought the children of Zainab back after the Shahada, I think the whole worriness and the whole concern of Zainab is Hussain. Hussain, alhamdulillah, I contributed. I gave my qurban and my sacrifice for your path as well. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa ala al-arwah allati hallat bifina'ik. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بغيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر الأهد مني لزيارتكم. All together inshallah. Salam. السلام على الحسين وعلى السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. Inshallah, a few du'as and we'll get ready for inshallah Muharram. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والعافية والناس ومد في عمره الشريف وزين الأرض بطول بقائه واجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره وشيعته يا رحمن يا رحيم ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم بحق الحسين اجسم المظهور فهو Imam Mahdi. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to be among the true followers of our own Imam. Ya Allah, help our youth, make them successful in dunya wal akhirah. Ya Allah, do not let anyone from our generation to be against Ahlul Bayt. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, anyone in this ummah, they have difficulties, issues, needs, haja. Specifically the followers of Ahlul Bayt, and especially my brothers and sisters, give them all the khair hajat. Ya Allah, anyone in this world, the Shia, the followers of Ahlul Bayt, anywhere in Afghanistan, Pakistan, in Yemen, around the world, provide opportunities for their freedom. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, any of the brothers and sisters who are sick, they wish they could come to this majlis, cure them all at this moment. Those who passed away, send the tabab and the world out of this majlis to their soul. Ya Hussain, oh Ya Hussain.